Good morning and welcome to In and Around Lake Forest. I'm Steve Smith, and this program is brought to you by the Lake Forest Chamber of Commerce. Every 2 weeks, we invite a local business owner, usually a chamber member, but not always so. We invite a member on to talk about their business, how they got to doing what they're doing today, and offer our community some tips about how to do things better in the area of their expertise. And the gentleman we have on today, we're very excited about having because he's going to be talking about an area that that most of us as business owners need to be up on, and it's all about marketing. In fact, if you come to any of our local events, we spend a fair amount of time talking about marketing strategies and tips and things that can help our local business community. So today, I would like to introduce Manny Villegas. He is the owner-operator of SDA Digital Marketing, and it's located right here in Lake Forest. And we're going to bring him on, learn a little bit about his story, how he got to doing what he's doing now, and talk a little bit about how digital marketing is probably the next step for a lot of people who are already active in social media, but just need to find new and better ways to come across to the communities they're trying to reach out to and attract and serve. So let's bring Manny on and introduce him. Let him tell us a little bit about his background, and we'll get into the details. Hey, good morning, Manny.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, you're coming through now. You just need to click the little video icon at the bottom so we can see you.
Absolutely. Here we go. Let's see. Okay.
There you go. Man, you're looking
All right.
sharp today.
Oh, thank you.
Well, listen, thanks for being on with us today. We're really interested in learning about you and about the business you have, and hopefully we'll have some time to talk about some strategies and tips for people who are watching, because most of our audience are small business owners, and they're always interested in how to perfect marketing. Some of them are just trying to get marketing off the ground, but regardless of where they are, these kind of programs usually add a lot of value to their ability to just be better operators in the Lake Forest community. So I've already kind of teed you up just a little bit based on the bio that you sent me, but tell us a little bit first, so everybody kind of knows where we're going with this interview today. Tell us a little bit about SDA Creative. What exactly is that?
We are a digital marketing agency, So we do anything from web development to graphic design. We manage social media platforms. We do a lot of photography, videography projects. So anything that is a digital job, we can actually do. So we house everything here, and we're expanding.
Nice. Well, it's always nice to hear. That means you're doing more things right than not, right?
You know, we can only do as good as you can. We're trying to do the best we can, and with that being said, we have a lot of success with a lot of clients, and they keep coming back. And it's funny because a lot of our referrals are mostly word of mouth. So that's probably the best strategy for us, in this industry, because we do a great job and they refer, more clients to us.
Nice. All right, so let's just kind of walk back down memory lane, and why don't you tell us what you were doing that led you up to being the owner of this company?
It's an interesting story, but back in I've been an entrepreneur for about 10 years, and one thing led to another, from a business to another business. And right around 2020, I was talking to the previous owner of the company, and he was talking to me about, I'm selling my business and so on, and we were doing some projects together. So we danced around the deal for a while, and probably right around 2021, we came about an agreement, and so I decided to jump in and do this. So I do have a background in marketing. I have a business degree with a focus in marketing. So I do have experience, but marketing can be so vast and so different. So my marketing background was a little different than the digital world, but somehow they sort of tie in together. And we've been doing this for I've been with SDA now for year and a half, going on 2 years. We moved the office. The office used to be in Capistrano Beach. We moved to Lake Forest, and the reason for that, in Capistrano Beach, my view was the ocean.
Right.
My window was the ocean, and that was beautiful.
Hard to walk away from, by the way.
I know, but we had to think strategically to sacrifice the view for more space. And so now we have a warehouse where we converted this into a studio, so we can have more videography and photography that we can treat internally to save cost and also to save cost for the clients.
Nice. Okay. All right. So let's talk a little bit about a particular aspect of what you just teed up with what your company does, because social media is probably, for most small businesses, the place that they interact with marketing on a daily or weekly basis. It's not new anymore. It's been around for 20 years. It's evolved tremendously. There's a few new players and some that have kind of left the stage over time, but most everybody understands what it is. The business people know what LinkedIn is. The older folks that want to keep in touch with family know what Facebook is. All of those platforms now have tried to up their game by offering other kind of, video services and other ways to connect and put yourself out in the marketplace. So based on what you guys do in that realm, helping either run the platform for the client or help them figure out ways to be better on the platforms they're already on, what can you talk about that your company does that you feel really allows you to command a niche in that category?
Sure. Yeah. I think it's a great question. For us, every client is very different. We cater to many different industries. So each individual strategy for each client can be completely different. But if we were to have a commonality in it, is the quality of the post, the quality of the message, the quality of what you're trying to convey to the viewer. And for us, it can be a bit of a challenge sometimes to understand somebody else's industry to be able to address a certain solution or a certain issue that needs to be resolved, right? We understand that clients come to companies to have solutions or problems solved. So understanding that and how we can project that in a way that it's understandable. So we have many different strategies. I think one key point also is, as an agency, we understand that we need to have a certain spin to things and that we need to have quality in what we do. So quality in the image, as I said, quality in the copy, and for that we need professionals to do that. So I definitely rely on a team of experts to be able to do this and to understand each industry.
All right. So are there things that you can share with the folks that are watching today, what you guys would consider best practices when you're spending whatever time you're spending on the social media platforms that you've chosen? Are there things that you either guide your clients on or you would do yourself that make you look your best, your most professional, your most inviting when the people on the other side see your posts come up?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I have to touch on a point here because we have clients that come to us with many different budgets, right? And so we want to do the best work possible within a certain budget. And sometimes that can be really difficult to do because you have small budgets, you have really large budgets, right? And so with that being said, what I could share, in terms of what information or what strategies to use to be able to do the best work. The message, we see this a lot now with in public places, for example, where people take out their phone. They don't always listen to what's being said because you're in a public place. And so a lot of it is mostly visual.
Mhm.
And we understand that having copy on some of these messages is really important because a lot of people might just read the screen as opposed to hear unless you have headphones. Having a variety of things, we try to have variety with our clients, meaning imagery, video, in the moment. Another thing that some companies do is to have a theme where, for example, if your company colors are blue and yellow, that you use that all across your platform to convey a message, right? You don't want to bore them too much either, but I think having that consistency is really important.
It's interesting you say that because I do quite a bit of learning and research on YouTube. It's second most powerful search engine out there. And believe me, you can find a ton of really good stuff and you can find a whole lot of useless stuff, but that's just all comes with jumping into that pool. And
Right.
some of the, I guess they would readily admit that they're kind of amateur YouTube channels, but are very effective, got a lot of followers, do
Right.
exactly what you just said. They make sure that the very first screen you see is branded. The name,
Right.
the color scheme, maybe even the background, even down to the lettering. Some of the lettering is absolutely crazy. It looks like somebody threw it on there with a paintbrush. And
Yeah.
then other people are really kind of phonetically correct with how they lay stuff out. But you can go and look at their entire channel, and all of the beginnings to their videos all have that same look and feel. So if
Right.
you were to do that, which obviously takes a little more time, how important that is that to creating that reputation that you want your followers or your viewers to understand?
Right, absolutely. I think you want to have that consistency. An example that that I talk about sometimes with people is if you were to see Coca-Cola in many different fonts, we know Coca-Cola has that curvy type of font, so you recognize that when you see that on the streets or anywhere. So I think having that recognition is really important to have that consistency. Having in-house here with our agency, having a creative director that understands that is really important because they can give that brand or that company direction in the recognition of their business, whether it's color, font. Sometimes companies are recognized by their color, by their font, right? So if you are a business owner that is trying to have an identity or trying to find an identity, it definitely influences if you have that external image where somebody can see your logo and you have a certain font that it's readable, that it's easy to the eye, right? That you have a logo that is understandable or appealing to the eye. Sometimes there are some logos and you go like, oh my God, what is this? Is this an E or a T or right? And it can be fancy, right? But I think it's also
There's no
important
association with what you do and what the logo looks like, right?
Right. So it has to be nice and clear and clean. So a lot of those things I think can give recognition to the company or to the enterprise. That if you're a business owner, as I said, or if you're trying to get recognition, it's important to have that identity.
All right, so let's just walk through a little scenario here. Let's just say that whether I've just recently started my business and haven't really got around to any significant branding, or maybe I've been in business for a number of years and now have come to the conclusion that my brand image is kind of confusing, okay? And I need a makeover. I need somebody that can help me really define what this is and make sure that when people see it and they see what I do, there's a connection there. Everybody kind of understands it. So I come to you guys and tell me a little bit about the process. How would you go about helping me figure out what that brand needs to look like? How do you take a client through the process of helping them distill down what they want to look like out in the public?
Yeah, absolutely. And we see those challenges frequently. before we get to the solution, I want to explain some of the problems that we see before it gets to us.
Mhm.
And sometimes the challenge is that a lot of different hands and a lot of different people touch a brand, and everybody wants to pull a different direction.
Right.
So the goal or the vision is not 100% there, because you'll find challenges and maybe disagreements in the color or the font that you're going to use. So what we recommend and what we talk to clients about sometimes is, it's better to have everything under one roof, one direction, because the feel and the look of your brand, your image, your website can be all directed within one roof with one purpose, right? So how we go about that, and we see this challenge all the time because we get logo changes, we get color changes, we get website changes, and they don't always match. And so the first recommendation is, if you're going to hire us, we want to be able to see everything, right? From your website to what you advertise, what you sell, what are your values, right? What is your logo saying about you? And exploring everything as a whole, as a brand, because that gives us a lot of information. So how we go about it, we've created many logos and branded many different companies, but we sort of have to become a part of that brand to be able to understand what they do and what their culture is. I can't disclose any client names, but there are some clients that struggle with this, and so sometimes we get hired to do a job, and we give recommendations to sometimes just change the whole image of the company, change the whole image of how they market themselves. And so we bring that in-house. We have a team of experts. We talk about this, and and we try to make it as fun as possible. So we sit, at our conference table and we go, okay, what do you see? I always talk about this example, and it always works. But I tell my team, draw me a knife, and you can draw me a butter knife, and I can draw you a bread knife. And so we both know what a knife is, but it means something completely different to you than it looks to me. So we have 5, 6 different drawings of a knife at a table. So that's exactly what marketing is. How do you see this, and what does the client see? Because
Interesting. Okay.
the client can tell you, I want it blue, but it could be that kind of blue, or it could be this kind of blue. So that can change a lot of things, and having as detailed and specific information as possible it's always key.
Wow. Yeah, I can imagine that that going through that ideation process up front can really produce a lot of insight and maybe surprise on behalf of the client, because things will
Right.
pop up that they never even considered that might actually make sense to them once it's revealed to them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Wow.
so all those details are really, really important to say. We have different tones of blue, different tones of yellow. This goes better with your logo, if it's the ocean, if it's the sun. So it has to be very, very specific, because once you put it out there, it's out.
Yeah.
Right?
It's expensive to haul it back and do it again, right?
Right. And so you can't be playing. I mean, you have to be risky. And I think as an entrepreneur, you take a lot of risks, but as an image of a company, you have to be very consistent. So if you're going to make a change, it has to be something that you're 150% sure that you're going to make happen,
Right.
and that you're going to stick to that, right?
All right. So, businesses kind of, sometimes you can split them into a couple of different buckets. You have businesses that manufacture, produce, and sell product, and then you have businesses that offer service. When it comes to creating a really clear, distinctive brand that emulates what that business is there to do, is it harder to do it for a professional service business because there isn't any actual tangible thing a lot of times that the customer buys? Is it harder to brand those folks, or does it not matter?
It does matter. Whether it's a service or a product, a consumable, right? And the way you go about it, you know, we understand that we as human beings make decisions based on emotion, right? And you're going to buy the new car because it makes you feel good, because it gives you this image or status or whatever. You buy the phone, right? So I think in the same way that we consume things, clients are looking for um, an image to be able to sell their service or their product to somebody. So, you know, in terms of strategies, I think selling the ultimate benefit is, I think, the goal. And so whether it's a service or a product, you know, how is that going to benefit me? What is the solution that I'm trying to bring? And as I said earlier, you know, we provide solutions, we resolve problems. And I think most companies do that, right? Where if you're looking for a construction company, you're trying to resolve a problem because you want to build the door, or you want to build the wall. So I think selling and highlighting what that is really important. And the same thing goes for a product, right? If it's food or if it's a phone. And you know, it's understandable. Like if you want the latest phone, there's probably not a lot of need for that. But you know, some of those items are sort of outside the norm of the typical day-to-day transaction in a small business, right?
Yeah, look, I mean, I don't know of anybody today that doesn't have a cell phone, whether they keep it with them all the time or not. But I think when it comes to branding, sometimes you have to figure out how to convince somebody to pay $12 or $13 or $1,500 for one, versus you know, other ones that probably do 80% of what those do, you know, that are significantly less. So you know, now we're getting into a whole, you know, conversation about whether it's utility based or premium based, and I'm sure that makes its way into how the brand ends up evolving.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And you know, to touch on that, budgets can.
Oh, Manny, we lost your sound. Can't hear you. Oh, there you go. You went mute for a minute there. I didn't know why.
Right. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
I think I'm having a bit of a difficulty here. Let me see if I can. Okay.
Yeah, right now you sound good.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, what I was saying, you know, the different budgets that there are can vary significantly in what you're trying to do for a client. So, you know, when it comes to websites, could be very different than when it comes to a logo or just changing some social media content. But the results are going to be very different, you know?
All right, so a lot of companies like yours that offer a multitude of services usually have what I call a gateway service, meaning it's the one that people that want to try you out tend to go for first, you know, and see what the experience is like of working with your company before they decide to maybe upgrade and take on other products or services.
Right.
In all the things that you offer under your digital marketing umbrella, do you have what you would call a gateway service?
We do. And that could be maybe a couple things, you know. Websites are very common these days. So, you know, everybody has a website, and there's a lot of new things you can do on a website, you know, from adding video to, you know, photography, and having, you know, plugins for e-commerce and payments on that, you know. So a lot of the times, I think the gateway for us, and I can split this into two groups. We have frequent flyers. We have customers that are with us all the time. And then we have newcomers that are looking for, you know, a small service or something new. And we utilize that to say, hey, you know, we just did your website, but we noticed that maybe your e-commerce platform isn't working properly. Okay. So is there something you need help with? Or we noticed that, you know, your website is really great, but your social media is dormant. And it's an opportunity to explore new marketing avenues. So typically that's what we do. with our frequent flyers or our clients that are always coming back, it's more of maintenance, and we do a lot of different designs for them. So I think for the most part, with customers, clients that are coming back, we're doing a lot of touch up on websites, graphic design. Hey, can you change these colors? Can you change, the color of the box or the flyer? So, but the gateway primarily would be website, which trickles down to graphic design, and it trickles down to social media, or it could be design, and they say, hey, we're changing our logo and we want to have this and this and this and that. Okay, great. And that leads into, oh, by the way, we need to change our website too. So it could be a couple of different things, but like I said before, as an overall picture, we try to recommend that we evaluate the whole thing to be able to give them a better solution.
Gotcha. All right, so you are the owner operator of SDA Creative, but is there any aspect of the company that you just get drawn to, that you just like doing yourself? Most times people have elements of the business that they've developed or they've purchased or whatever that they just feel drawn to from more of a technical standpoint. Is there anything in SDA like that for you? Lost the sound again. Okay, are you back?
Okay, I can hear you now. My apologies.
Okay. All right, so did the question come through?
Only half the question.
All right. For most business owners, there's some part of the technical side of the business that they just feel drawn to and they like to get involved in, even though they're having to run the entire organization. Is there something like that in SDA Creative for you?
Yeah, absolutely. Photography, videography, I like to be involved in all those things. We're trying to promote our brand new studio. So we're, creating a page for that, and we're trying to promote it so that we can get new clients through the door with video projects, with photography projects. So I really like to be involved in a lot of those things because I'm sort of drawn to that. And, I took photography classes in college and so on. Never really fully, immersed myself in photography or videography as a profession, but I have a passion for it. And working with people that are professionals, I'm always tagging along with, different projects and learning as we go, because it's really important for me to be involved, especially with the clients that we work with and with the people that are doing the work, to understand the quality that we're doing and the quality that we're putting out there.
Yes.
With that being said, with the quality of the work that we do, it gives us an opportunity to open new doors and to try to get new clientele through the door. So with the new studio that we have, that's the whole purpose of it, to be able to create a brand new gateway for clients to come through the door. Nice.
All right, so I noticed on your bio that you play the guitar. So what can you tell us about that?
I do. I play blues guitar. I play rock guitar. Most of the time when I'm alone at home, because I like to, really turn that up. And so I don't like to annoy people, but yeah, I've been playing guitar since I was maybe 15, but everything started, when I was 15, I was a drummer and I had long hair.
Oh, wow. We'd love to get a picture of that.
Yeah, quite the change. I was a drummer for a while, and then it transitioned to guitar. So I've been a guitarist for a long time, but never really pursued a career. I think it's just more of a hobby for me.
Right. Yeah, well, that's good. It's nice to have an outlet from what you spend most of your time on the job doing.
Yeah.
So just kind of to finish this up, is there any part of your business that I didn't ask you a question for that you would like to talk about?
Well, there's a lot that goes on every day in our facility, but what I wanted to touch on is the the entrepreneurial mindset of owning a business and the difficulties that come with it as far as the rewards, yeah, sorry, as well as the rewards. But as far as the difficulties is concerned, um, there's, like in every profession, there's challenges day to day that you have to face, that you have to find solutions for,
Right.
and the rewards are really great. Working with a great professional team, seeing the different industries and the different clients that we have and participating in a lot of these things, that I think it's really, really rewarding for me. And it's been quite the experience for me the last year and a half. So I'm really looking forward to what's going to happen in the next few years.
Well, we're just very happy that you made the decision to come just a little bit north from San Juan and nest yourself here in Lake Forest. I've been here since '93, and this town has gone through massive upgrades since then.
Right.
And it really is, it's a small, it's a small community in South County, but we have a big footprint. And we've heard that from other people in other towns and local community leaders and things like that. So I'm very proud to represent this and to have companies like yours be a part of it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I love the area. It's very convenient, very quiet, and we love where we are. So yeah, we're very grateful.
So for people that might want to get in touch with you and take advantage of your assessment of kind of what they've done, what they've cobbled together at this point, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
Yeah, sure. Couple ways. So you can go to our website, and it's very simple, sdacreative.com.
Okay.
And if you want to call us here, you can call us as well at 949-493-5182. And if you want to email me, I'm happy to respond. We never stop working, especially when you're a business owner, you're always looking at email and text messages.
Right. You're always connected to somebody somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll respond as soon as possible. My email is Manny, MANNY, V as in Victor, at SDACreative.com.
Super. Well, Manny, listen, thanks for being on with us today. I really enjoyed talking with you. I'm sure we'll have an opportunity to see you around. In fact, for those of you watching today, tomorrow, the city of Lake Forest and the chamber are getting together and putting on an annual workshop that involves social media. And this year we're having Manny speak. And so you'll get a chance to see him up close in person. And that'll be at City Hall tomorrow from 5 to 7:30. So, if you've already registered, great. If not, register on the Lake Forest Chamber website and come out and meet a lot of your other, small business compadres. And we'll hear a little more from Manny and the other lady we have speaking. So, Manny, thank you for supporting us and for giving us your time tomorrow. And thank you for being on today to, give us a little peek into who you are and who SDA Creative is.
Thank you, Steve. I really appreciate it.
All right, folks, listen, that brings us to the end of our show. Thank you for being with us today. We will be back, let's see, what is today? End of February. We'll be back on March 8th with another local business owner and another chat. And hopefully you can join us then and learn a little more about the folks that are doing business here along with you in Lake Forest. So thanks for being with us today. We look forward to seeing you later. Take care.
Thank you, Steve.